Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're the Rambling Reviewers.
And we're trying out the Blue Snowball microphone. It's got so much better audio stuff. I don't know the terminology at all, but I'm told it's great.
Yeah. And today we're looking at The Time of the Doctor.
The final episode of Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor.
A.K.A. the Doctor who forgets. A.K.A. the Doctor who's special that we'd like to forget.
He was a good doctor.
He was a good doctor.
Okay, then why would we like to forget him? I'd like to remember.
No, this special.
Oh, this special. I thought you meant.
Like
I thought you meant the doctor was.
Yeah,
special.
no.
No, okay.
Okay, well, at times I would argue that we might do like a retrospective of the 11th Doctor's run after this.
Maybe.
But this special, it had its moments, but there was a lot of stupid.
So
you know how I've heard it could best be described? SF Debris described the episode Threshold of Star Trek Voyager as, well, it's one of the worst episodes in Star Trek canon.
Yeah.
But he described it as, this isn't anything new or different that they did that made it the absolute worst. This is what they were usually doing, just with the polish stripped off. Yeah, and I think that's what The Time of the Doctor was. It was what they've been doing the last few seasons, just with all the polish stripped off.
Kinda. It was, I think, certainly suffered from compression, and didn't necessarily use the time that it had as best as it could either way. I'd like to talk about what I did like, since we're going to go about what we didn't like. So it is all around the theme of death, and the Doctor is dying, right? And he's on his last regeneration, which was a sudden thing. Like, wait, no, 11's the last one? I thought Peter Capaldi was going to be okay. We just brought that up at the last second, but that gets into negative territory. The idea, though, he has his last regeneration, and he has this inevitability. I love that it's old age, essentially, that's going to kill him in the end. Like, he can run away from all the Daleks and the Cybermen and everybody, but he can't outlast time itself. He spends hundreds of years fixing toys and fighting monsters. Very doctorish thing to do, and the toy bar especially goes well with number 11. He was always childlike. And there's this sense of it going on forever as he's helping people and having fun, but you know it can't go on forever. At some point the stalemate has to break, or he just has to die of old age or whatever. I liked the bit where the Cyberman head died, Andlos or whatever they called him. You know, that was a neat little moment. It was reflecting again on the theme of death, you know. They had this neat idea of exploring these concepts. I love when Clara's with him near the end, and I don't know what they call those things. You pull them apart at both ends, and either a joke or a poem comes out in the middle.
Crackers?
Crackers. I know. I kept thinking of like cheese and crackers, so I got all confused. Anyway, but she has to help him pull it. You know, you could see that he was aging, and he sort of clung to his personality, his optimism right to the end there. He's freaking taunting the Daleks as he's about to die, you know.
He taunts the Daleks all the time.
Right, but it had a different meaning with, like, the 300 years of build-up and all the aging.
Or did you forget, hello, Stonehenge?
No, I know.
That's still my favorite 11th Doctor
you know what
moment.
I mean? Like,
it just is a defining moment there.
Yeah. But it's a special thing in that context. And I liked the exploration of that theme. Now as for what we didn't like.
Well,
pull out the list.
Oh no! This is just the index that show where I keep the list.
Yeah.
Warehouses A through E. Okay. Let's start out with his regenerating. First off, let's start off with him regenerating, because that's kind of the real reason everyone tuned into this episode. This is the one where he regenerates into the 12th Doctor.
Yeah.
Since when the hell has regeneration been death lasers that the Doctor shoots out of his arms?
He totally fricked up his TARDIS transitioning from 10 to 11. I just figured that was more.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you look at all the other regenerations that he's had, he doesn't do this. I mean, heck, from 6 to 7 was just a fade and wipe as someone literally pulled him over.
Yeah.
Well, part of that was because they couldn't get Colin Baker back.
Yeah.
He was kind of sick of the treatment that the BBC had given him. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not blaming Colin Baker for that.
Right. Okay, so normally these things, it was a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. I'll give you.
Okay, suddenly. Oh, and suddenly the Time Lords realize, oh yeah, if we love the Doctor, let's give him another regeneration for some reason.
A whole other set, actually.
Set of regenerations.
He's mentioned that, which I could see being like, oh, getting a new set maybe is a different process. It's much more powerful. But it would have been nice to have that explained in advance at some point, you know.
Also, you know, the Time Lords were... It's kind of implied that the Time Lords are looking through every universe to try to find out which one is the real universe that they belong to.
I guess.
Which is why they're asking, Doctor Who? That was the password that says, if the Doctor's name is this, then this is the correct universe and we can come through.
Yeah.
So I would assume that there's like an infinite number of Claras who all poked their heads close to the crack and said, if you love him, help him. So is this like the one universe that they managed to pick? Yeah, that one. Give extra regenerations to that one.
First off, we do not know at all that they're contacting multiple universes. They could be in contact with just this one as far as we know. Secondly, if there's an infinite number of universes out there, they don't all have to have a Clara in them. And third, as far as we know, they did send an infinite number of regenerations to an infinite number of Doctors all across the multiverse.
Actually, that's pretty cool. I'm keeping that.
So we don't know about parallel. There's no Pete's World thing mentioned here. There's not like, you know, a regular old parallel universe. It's just, but it is unclear what's going on, and it was unclear in the Day of the Doctor, if you recall, when we reviewed that.
Oh.
And it was okay. We're going to save Gallifrey and we'll freeze it in time like a painting. And we were all like, what is it, a painting? Like, seriously, there's a, like, in orbit, is there a painting spinning around now? Or is it...
And if so, why do you need to look for Gallifrey if you know what to look for? Because it's in a painting that you created.
And then there was a painting that art gallery.
That's like taking off your shoes and then forgetting where you put your shoes that you made.
And then there was a painting in the art gallery of Gallifrey, but it's not Gallifrey in painting form. It's just a painting of Gallifrey that happens to be Time Lord technology, but not Gallifrey in a painting. It's Gallifrey went somewhere else.
Except that you can apparently go to Gallifrey through the Time War and into that painting and into the Black Archive.
Then they come out of it with the Dalek. They're dead also. So is that just a painting Dalek or like a real Dalek or like what was?
And who made this painting? If nothing escapes the Time War. SFDebris posited the theory that originally the Doctor did in fact burn Gallifrey, but then this is like the second time around, and he didn't burn it this time, and which honestly just gives me a migraine just thinking about it. Yeah. Which is another thing I have to be angry at Moffat about. Time travel has rules. Stop throwing them around. Stop making loopholes.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes the loopholes are clever. I did like him using the Tesselecta to get out of his death in series whatever that was. Because that was, like, made sense. Aha, this is a fixed point, but this is a videotape of actually a robot that looks like the Doctor instead of the Doctor himself. That worked. I got it. But, yeah, it does get confusing at some point. And, yeah, you weren't sure where Gallifrey was when they saved it in the Day of the Doctor. The Doctor didn't seem to know where it was. He was informed by Colin Baker, like... It's out there somewhere. Tom Baker, I'm sorry.
Colin Baker is the sixth.
Tom Baker is like, it's out there somewhere. Like, oh, it's out. How does it, it's out there somewhere? Where did it go? Is it, I guess the idea then is they sent it to like a special pocket universe. Kind of like the one we saw in The Doctor's Wife, maybe? That's my best guess. It's in one of those little things. So Gallifrey is just hanging out now in a pocket universe, I guess. And it's, aha, they're on the other side of the crack. Which is confusing because the cracks have always led to different places all the time. The first one we saw led to Prisoner Zero's prison with the big eyeball.
Prisoner Zero has escaped.
Yeah. And then we were told through some of them we saw other worlds, through others we saw silence and the end of all things, and then they all end up leading back to the TARDIS exploding, but they also lead back to Gallifrey. At the same time? It's a little confusing.
Okay, that actually was not confusing to me. Like, the way I heard it was the cracks are rifts in reality, weak points in the fabric of reality. And Gallifrey was like in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. The Cybermen came through the weak point in the universe that Torchwood was exploiting, and the it was just a weak point, and that's what the Time Lords were exploiting.
Okay,
weak points in the fabric of reality. Although there is the other problem of if the universe was rebooted, wouldn't the cracks be totally erased and have never happened in the first place because they were retconned out of existence? And oh god, my brain.
Which is a little weird too. When River's song previous to Big Bang 2 is mentioning how the Tesselecta is gonna happen, and then they reboot the universe, but somehow she was able to know in advance the universe would reboot, I guess. Which, you have to travel through meta time at that point. I mean, that was a little weird. But, okay, so the Doctor saves Gallifrey by putting it in some other pocket universe, let's just say, and then leaves it there with no way of escaping or getting out of any kind, apparently. Because the only way it gets out is by his TARDIS blowing up, which he didn't plan on doing. So, the Kovarian branch of the Palpal mainframe, which then blew up his TARDIS through unknown means, happens to be assisting him in releasing the Gallifrey from its pocket universe, just by coincidence.
Ah! My head. Yeah. Ow.
I mean...
Okay, here's another thing that bugs me. About that whole thing. Why is the Doctor not more unbelievably concerned that someone found a way to blow up his TARDIS? Or the fact that blowing up the TARDIS makes the universe explode?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that seems like a thing you would want to be concerned about. Like, it'd be like, you know what? This glass is actually made of weapons-grade uranium. Oh, well, might as well drink it anyway. What the hell?
Well, yeah.
Is this something that you... I mean, okay, it's a thing that travels through time and space, and, oh, yeah, if it blows up, then it takes out all of time and space retroactively. That's a thing! You should... That should be a warning label. Warning, do not blow this up, you motherfuckers! You will kill everything.
Well, that should have been a storyline ever since Big Bang 2. It had been like, hey, we won and we fixed everything, but who blew up the TARDIS? And, like, that would be a conscious, like, brought-up mystery, and we go find out maybe over the course of the next season.
And how did they blow it up?
I know, it was just, they did it. Like, how? Like, that's not a simple thing to do as far as... everyone wants to blow up the TARDIS. Like, they didn't know it would blow up the universe, too. But you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to kill the Doctor.
How is this... Again, the same problem that I've always had with the TARDIS exploding and blowing up the universe.
Yeah.
How is it that the TARDIS exploding blows up the universe when the Time Lords presumably used war TARDISes in the last Great Time War?
Right, well...
And, you know, the universe is still sort of fine.
Well, I always assumed you have to blow it up in the right way. Like, you know, but that gets right back into the method. It would have been like, aha, we discovered blah, 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 something with Atron particles, and we amplified the effect of the explosion by 1 billion times, you know, using special, like, they sabotaged it, you know what I mean? Like, they did something special that you didn't normally do in the Time War. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, that's fine, I get it now. But if they'd built up to that and explained it a little and made it make sense, you know, instead it was just like, they did it off screen, whatever.
Okay, yep, whatever. Okay, so... Yeah, that happened. A timey-wimey thing happened.
Yeah.
Now on to the Doctor's enemies.
Well, wait. How we...
Okay,
go ahead,
first on the list. Wooden goddamn Cyberman with a flamethrower.
I thought it was pretty cool.
There are... kids' cartoons, they use a wooden robot with a flamethrower as a joke to show how stupid the enemy is.
It wasn't really a flamethrower so much as a laser bolt anyway, was it?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so much colder than a flamethrower. It surely wouldn't set fire to the whole fucking robot. Oh, wait. Yes, it would, because here's the thing. It's hot!
Well, yeah, but whatever.
Wooden...
Lasers... Okay. It's not expected to shoot itself. That was a design flaw.
But if it's shooting a beam of coherent lights of such intensity that it's supposed to drill a person in half with, like, a beam of light, the ambient heat from that should also, you know, make the gun hot. Or at least set it on fire if it's entirely made out of wood. And don't say it's some special wood that's immune to burning, because that's one of the key things about wood. It burns!
Well, if it's been raining recently, it's very hard to make a fire. I have experience with that.
Yeah, just, you know, I'm going to move on from that and assume it's some sort of organic technology based on the tree people we saw back in...
Yeah, see? You already came up with an explanation?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to come up with an explanation for something so mind-bogglingly stupid.
I was fine with the wooden side.
Okay, here's another thing. The Weeping Angels. They showed up for all of one scene. We never saw them again. We never saw them dealt with.
They did technically show up twice.
What?
In the whole little montage of, like, and then 300 years went by and the Doctor dealt with all these bad guys. There was one little bit with a weeping angel frozen in front of a mirror, and on the side of the mirror was written, like, Doctor was here or something. But to the more general point,
wait, wouldn't that create two angels? Because whatever holds the image of an angel doesn't becomes an angel. Oh shit! There's more angels.
That's actually Oh
my god! A mirror is a weeping angel spawning pool. You just go in front of it and.
Yeah.
Okay, and second off, why did one grab Clara when a weeping angel touching you is enough to send you back in time and do whatever these weeping angels do, as shown in The Angels Take Manhattan?
Well, yeah, and also just blink. But okay, so here's the thing with weeping angels: their rules are always changing, and I'm afraid to say they have some villain decay going on.
Some? Okay, honestly, the weeping angels in the spaceship wreck, that was pretty scary. Not as scary as Blink.
Yeah,
okay,
Blink
but they
was
were
the best
still
because they were new. You just had no idea what was going on in Blink.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah.
Angels in Manhattan was hilarious, but not for the reason. I'm serious. I had to pause it when we saw the Weeping Angel Statue of Liberty. Did no one see this thing moving? Did no?
Yeah.
The one thing everyone thinks of when you think of New York, did the angels just find that 1 second when no one was looking at the Statue of Liberty and then like deflect any questions like?
Yeah.
Stepped out for a stroll.
Yeah, I think Moffat didn't think that through. He just went like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if?" and threw it in there, and he went, "Whatever." I'm sure. Just imagine there's an explanation, type of thing. Which I kind of think maybe he does.
A lot,
kind of. I mean, I don't know. But yeah. So we did see them in Time of the Angels. The spaceship thing you're mentioning, where at one point they had that general guy like about to snap his neck and he couldn't get away. So it was kind of touching him, but he wasn't going anywhere. But that does make it confusing. Like sometimes they touch you and they bring you back. Sometimes they touch you and they snap your neck. Sometimes they touch you, snap your neck, steal your voice, and then talk through a radio as you, which was creepy, but still also confusing because like what powers do they do and not have, you know?
And sometimes they just touch you.
Oh, okay.
So point on the doll where the angel touched you.
Oh, my gosh.
I am a horrible person. But
and sometimes they have this power of the image of an angel, which is cool, but they should have clarified like this as separate subspecies or something, because then retroactively in Blink, oh god, whenever we use mirror, or that got them staring at each other actually in Blink, didn't they? It wasn't a mirror.
Yeah, which actually the one of the fan theories I've heard of is that when that girl Sally Sparrow took pictures of the angels, those actually became the angels that went on to threaten the Doctor and sent him back in time.
Yeah, that's a neat little retcon that kind of works pretty well. But at the time, they didn't even think of that power. But anyway, yeah. So post Time of the Angels, it should have been, hey, we can't freeze an angel with a mirror, and here we froze an angel with a mirror anyway. In the middle of that montage in Time of the Doctor, so that was confusing.
Although that does throw a wrench in Doctor Who's Adventures first episode when the Doctor freezes the angels with a mirror, and then they start using psychic powers to break the mirror or something.
Well, we are following in the tradition of making up new rules for the angels as we go along.
Plus, I think we already established that our Doctor regenerated sometime before.
Yeah, whatever. Right. We can't get into our continuity when we already have this continuity to talk about.
Yeah. But okay, so
Angel. So here's the thing. Okay, if we back up for a second, it starts off with this mysterious planet, which later turns out to be Trenzalore, which was a kind of cool moment when they mentioned the name, and you're like, oh. Also, honestly, I thought it was cool when the cracks showed up at first. Yeah. You were like, whoa, wait, they're back. Wait. And then you were hoping it was all going to add up to something that made sense, and it didn't quite add up to something that made sense.
By didn't quite, he means not fucking at all.
But it was neat for a second, because you thought we had abandoned that entirely, and then like, aha, there's whatever, you know what I mean? Sort of a brick joke without being a joke. It comes back without you realizing it.
When it shouldn't really have been a brick joke in the first place, considering that was... Whatever. That's my own bitching.
It's a long arc, is what I'm saying. The idea of it was a full, the entire span of the 11th Doctor, one big arc. That was the concept here. In theory, nice concept, but you better pull it off right. And they were sort of cramming it all together in the end here. So the signal goes out to all the universe, and it's a big old like bell thing. No one knows what it is, but everyone's afraid, kind of weirdly psychically, and all the Doctor's enemies show up. And I've thought about this and seen it in reviews, and I have to agree. When you bring all the Doctor's enemies together, it kind of cheapens them, you know? Like, you want the Daleks to be so impressive that they take up the whole episode by themselves. And you want the Centaurans to take up a 2-part episode, like, by themselves, like they did with 10.
And
you know?
Some of the Doctor's enemies are kind of mutually exclusive. Like, Weeping Angels would not work together with Daleks, and the Daleks view all other species as vermin that need to be
exterminated,
yeah.
Right. Oh, they weren't.
So here's what we should have seen. Okay, there's Dalek saucers all around the planet, and the wreckage of everything else.
That would have been cool, actually, because then you could just speculate who used to be there, you know? Like, and then 1,000 species came, and only one remained. You know?
And only one remained.
Right. Now, it's true that
it'd be better if, like, it starts off on a Cyberman's head, and it's like the mouth is glowing, it's saying, "Danger, ship in peril, needs repair." And it zooms out slowly, and it's just floating there in this huge debris cloud as this, and it zooms out, and then this Dalek battle saucer just plows through the debris.
Yeah.
And it's just, although it also cheapens the Daleks in this scene, because eventually they're like the only ones still attacking.
Yeah.
And okay, so millions of Daleks are attacking this planet because they don't want Gallifrey to come back. And they can't figure out a way to kill the Doctor. Seriously? You can't, use your ships to pull asteroids and just bombard the planet with giant rocks from space until I mean, seriously, you have orbital superiority. You find the Doctor's location, and you throw enough rocks and bombs at him until the crater is deep enough that you can see Satan waving at you from the bottom.
Yeah, so the idea of it was that the papal mainframe is protecting the planet, but
How?
But that just, I know, that either cheapens the Daleks or really ups the papal mainframe all of a sudden. I'm going to call it mainframe from now on. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Papal?
Papal? Is it papal? All right.
Yeah.
The papal mainframe is like, okay, are they good enough to take on the Daleks, apparently?
No, and the answer is no, they're not. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of the Daleks. I'm saying that because at one point it's shown, and all of them are dead, they have the...
Well, yeah, I know, but for 300 years they kept it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't until 300 years had gone by that Daleks finally managed to win against the Church. And I get that they're a military church, but the Daleks,
Well, actually, no. The Doctor was still kind of young when he was like that. When he saw them and they were having the things coming out of their heads.
Wait, frick, how did this work again? He was down there for a while, wasn't he?
He was down there for a while.
No, because they totally went back, and she said, Clara said she hasn't aged. And he says, oh, she doesn't believe in aging. Wasn't he, like, young again due to a hologram or something when they got back up to the mainframe? They were using holograms last time?
No, he wasn't.
Wait, let's go figure this out. Pause. And we're back. So, yeah, no, he did they defended Trenslow for 300 years against the Daleks before they finally succumbed.
And then, for some reason, they're still capable of fighting even after they're all dead for more centuries, and the Doctor is fighting alone, which brings the question, why didn't they bomb him from space until they could see hell?
Yeah, that was confusing.
Yes, now that the papal mainframe is gone, we will continue to ineffectually attack the Doctor with ways he can easily counter, with the resources of an 18th century town. We are truly the Doctor's finest foes.
I mean, he was, I don't know, he had the silence on his side, which made shouldn't be on his side.
Okay, we'll get to the silence eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, the Daleks are proven they are incapable of killing the Doctor for any reason at all.
Honestly, it was going through my mind when he's old and he goes to the top of the clock tower and taunts the Daleks one more time.
They should have just...
They could have shot him. Like, they're right there. You could just shoot him.
And if you're saying, oh, they didn't want to do collateral damage, they're the Daleks! They're all about collateral damage!
Yeah.
Seriously, remember when the Daleks of England, or whatever the heck it was, where the Daleks were fighting the space biplanes or whatever?
Oh, whatever that was called. Yeah, in World War II.
Yeah, and they had the guy, and he was actually an Oblivion Continuum warhead that would have sucked Earth into a black hole.
Yeah, why didn't they use one of those on Trenzalore?
Why didn't you use all of those on Trenzalore? Just black out the sun with...
No, eat the sun if it's a black hole. Oh my god, yeah. The military balance of this seems very, very vague. And then I don't know. They shielded the planet somehow, but other people can get through. But the Doctor can deal with that. But we're helping him to defend the thing. And for some reason, they have troops, don't they? They have like thousands of troops in the mainframe. None of them are on the surface. It is only shielding and the occasional death from above, like when they kill those 2 Sontarans. You think there would be like a freaking circle of armed forces around the whole town.
Heck, just seal it. Get another painting thing.
Yeah, put this whole thing in a painting, and then Gallifrey could go through the crack to get to Trenzalore, to go through another crack to get to our universe. It wasn't clear to me in what status Gallifrey is in. Are they in a bad spot, like they need to get back to reality before they explode or something, or are they just sort of hanging out and they don't need us? They can live there forever. And if they can live there forever, then great, we'll just leave them there. Like, it was unclear to me, does the Doctor want to bring them back or not? In The End of Time, it was very clear, one of the reasons the Doctor sealed them away was because they were going to do this final sanction, and they were going to end time itself. And basically it was a frick the world, ultimate nuke it plan from the Time Lords.
And I complained how stupid that was. I mean, no. That decision I liked. The Doctor's decision to spare everyone in Day of the Doctor, I complained was unbelievably stupid because of all the horrible, nasty nightmare things that were still on Gallifrey.
Right. It was just confusing the way it worked. Which I much prefer our version where he saves one ship full of Time Lords, but not any of the leaders, like a bunch of kids or something. If you say that'd be good, then you could start off like a new Gallifrey with just, some Time Lords, and they can make a new civilization, but keep it quiet because the Daleks are still out there. That would have been a much better thing to do, I think. So yeah, what happens if he says his name? Like, I guess
And how did the truth field work into that? Like, the truth field seemed to work by having you speak only the truth, even the unpleasant truths. Like, hi, I'm going to lie. I'm the Doctor. I'm an alien from Gallifrey, and I keep running around because I'm afraid of everything.
Yeah.
I'm Clara, and I secretly fancy the Doctor. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So when directly questioned, shouldn't he have been unable to lie and say, my name's not the Doctor, my name is Frank?
Right. So the best I've heard on this is it has to be a direct question, not a question transmitted to the whole universe question or something.
What, and no one said, what is your name, to this guy, to the creepy beanpole guy who waves around a magic sonic stick?
Yeah.
Hello, what is your name? Oh, damn it. Okay, so $5 billion. $5 billion, completely incapable of stopping Gallifrey from coming through because one kid asked the Doctor.
Yeah.
And what happened to the truth field? I mean, and then he said, I promise to never send you away again. See you later, Clara.
I
Bye.
mean, I guess because that time he was on the TARDIS and not on the planet, but the TARDIS was on the planet, so that was unclear. Also, he tells that kid at the end, don't worry, I have a plan. And then he says to Clara, I don't have a plan. I thought you can't tell a lie. How do you tell a plan if you don't have a plan?
How do you forget plot points that you came up with in this episode?
Someone said his plan was to make up a plan, which I guess would be a nice little loophole, but yeah, it was just unclear.
That's bullshit.
I mean, a lot of these things, yeah, they just add up and become less and less clear overall, you know what I mean? Okay, why on earth is this question even being asked? I don't get that at all. We're on the other side of a pocket universe. We want to come on through. Just come on through. What the hell do you care? Like, you need the Doctor to tell you if it's safe? Since when do you trust the Doctor?
He was once the Lord President of Gallifrey.
He was, and now there's a new president by the name of Rassilon who freaking hates him, right?
Yeah, there's that.
Right.
And furthermore, I mean, you're the Time Lords. You have instruments that can detect minuscule fluctuations in the fabric of time and space. That's kind of your entire shtick. You have total mastery of time and space, and you could probably tell, is this our universe? Is this not a parallel universe? I don't know. Let's devise an incredibly silly riddle that can only be answered by one guy who might possibly have the same name.
or
as some other guy.
Or just, for all they know, the Doctor is dead by now. You got, not that they're aware of Lake Silencio, but if he had died at Lake Silencio, then I guess you're stuck there for eternity, wherever you are.
Oh, Dard.
Or again, they hate him, so I don't know why they would trust him to do anything. He sealed them away in this place they're trying to escape from, right?
Right.
And also killed them in the first place. Killed them and imprisoned them. Oh my god, it's Red versus Blue. Or Captured and Dead. If you know that web series, old series, anyway.
And you're awesome.
Yeah.
Old for internet, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, why not just, when Star Trek is more reasonable in finding things out. Okay, scan it for tachyons to determine if it's a time traveler. It is. It's a time traveler. Yay! When Star Trek is more reasonable in its approach than you failed.
And then if Gallifrey does come through, I'm just wondering, does that mean, like, the entire planet pops up, like, exactly on the spot where that crack is? Like, on top of Trenzalore? And then Trenzalore just, like, the combined mass of these two planets just sucks them together and, like, everything just explodes or something? Or, you know what I mean? Like, It was unclear in what way they would come. Do they walk through, like, one at a time? What is going to happen?
This could take a while.
I know, all 5 billion of them, or however many it was. It was unclear, and then it's unclear, do we want to bring them back? Okay, if the Doctor wants to bring them back, he can say his name, and they will come back. If the Doctor doesn't want to bring them back, then he could just run away from Trenzalore, and all the bad guys would follow him. It was my impression. Like, they don't care about Christmas at all. They can't do anything to the crack, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crack in time and space.
Right.
What are you going to do? Yell at it some more?
We were told, and the very first time we saw a crack was if you knocked down the wall, the crack would still be there. Right. It's not like you could just demolish it. It's a crack in time and space. So, I mean, I guess the Daleks could go just kill everybody in Christmas to spite the Doctor or something. But
why was there a town there on Trenzalore? Why was there a human colony on Trenzalore? Why was it an 18th century level technology? Why did no one try to move away?
Right. Well, I mean, as to why there was a colony there, why is there a colony anywhere? I mean, it's just a random human inhabited planet, right?
Yeah, good point.
So that's fine. But yeah, you think after 300 years we could move the town further from this crack that no one needs to be attacking in the first place, so that's weird by itself. Also, I noticed there was no technological development and no population growth over 300 years.
Yeah.
As far as I could tell, anyway.
That also bugs me. But then again, I'm the kind of guy who nitpicks over technology, so.
Yeah, but okay. So, yeah, it seemed like he didn't have to stay there and defend it. It wasn't like he was defending the Time Lords, like, oh no, if they hit this crack, then Gallifrey will explode. It's like, if you hit the crack, Gallifrey is fine, as far as I'm aware. Why wouldn't it be fine? Also, apparently Gallifrey can open up a new crack in the sky whenever it wants to.
Why did they need that first crack?
Just, if it's not safe here, we'll just open up a crack somewhere else. Also, in their plan to find out if it's safe, according to the Doctor, they send out a pulse which brings every bad guy in the universe to that spot.
Including their mortal enemies, the Daleks.
So maybe they shouldn't have done that. Maybe you guys should just come through the crack, because apparently you can do that on a whim.
I'm starting to understand why they lost the Time War. This is a good plan!
Just not well thought out. And then it was, okay, we can't let the Time Lords through. It'll reignite Time War 2. And on one level, you were like, oh, that's kind of interesting. We have to prevent Time War from happening again. It was such a cataclysmic event. You can see how it would be cataclysmic again. And then you think, wait, how would this be cataclysmic? because the notion is that there's huge number of Time Lords and a huge number of Daleks, and they're both very powerful, and they're, knocking the crap out of each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have, I guess, let's just assume a huge number of Time Lords have come through this thing. In order for this not to be a curb stomp battle that kills the Daleks, you'd need to have huge numbers of Daleks already in existence. And if there are huge numbers of Daleks already in existence, you think they would go ahead and conquer the universe. Because who the hell is stopping them right now?
Oh my god.
Right?
Heck, they even undid, if you listen, they even undid the whole Daleks can't remember the Doctor thing.
I know! What was with that? That was kind of a neat idea. It came up kind of suddenly at the end of Asylum, but you were like, okay, that could be a thing, and they have to, he gets to be all sneaky the next time he meets them, pretends to be somebody else. They don't never mind, they recognize him. Why did you write that in there? If it wasn't going to happen, I don't know. You feel like they just have to patch everything with these one-liners or two-liners like, oh, you shouldn't be able to remember me. We extracted information from her corpse. Like, just throw that out there for the fans, so I'm sure they would be confused otherwise. Like, don't make a situation that it would be confusing, Make it all fit to begin with. And then they try to explain everything else. So the silence all originates
the silence.
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, the silence. Boy, did they suffer from villain decay this time. Okay, the first time we met them, they were some weirdo alien race that we had never heard of.
Yeah.
We couldn't even comprehend their motives because they barely spoke.
Yeah.
They had been guiding humanity through all of history against our knowledge. They were manipulating us at the most basic level, at our memories, and we couldn't even fight back against them.
Yeah.
Right up until the Doctor tricked them all, and by making Neil Armstrong's recording the secret anti-silence weapon, making them say, "You should kill us all on sight."
That was clever.
And, so all throughout all of history, anyone who ever sees that will now be forced to murder the shit out of these Silence.
Yep.
Except apparently they were good guys all along, and they were just trying to help everyone. And they're not even really aliens. They're actually genetically engineered creatures that erase your memory of confessions. Except, here's the thing. We already have that technology in this universe. We see it used in The Beast Below.
We do.
Yeah. So why do you need something when you have a button that can do the same damn thing instead of, genetically engineering these silent
I would say
monsters?
more because the technology argument, you can say, well, it's weird. We don't know, who's has what level of technology at what time. And I'm sure history is complicated. But as far as themes go, wow, does it nerf the Silence when they are confessionals? I'm sorry, that's not very cool. They were cool. They were so creepy, and now they also.
Yes, I can clearly see the need for confessionals with the ability of the Silence. Incapable of being remembered, capable of shooting fucking lightning from their hands, and capable of murdering people by inhaling, if you remember, that aid in the White House bathroom.
I thought they used the lightning on her. Did they? Did they use both,
sure.
maybe? Whatever.
Maybe.
They did, yeah.
Yes, clearly this was a peaceful project. Okay, so you gave us someone who you can confess your sins to, and you gave it the ability to shoot fucking lightning from its hands. Why? Okay, was it in case it met a child molester? I molest children. Because I totally approve if that was the reasoning behind it.
If I may draw an analogy that has just occurred to me. Suppose there was a Star Trek episode where we went back in time or went to a different corner of the galaxy or something. I don't know how this works, But we discovered the origin of the Borg. They were confessional priests. They were genetically engineered to take and then they conquered the universe for unrelated reasons. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
No. Better, no, not confessional priests. The Borg were the janitors.
The
It
Borg
was their
were the
job to fix things.
Right.
Actually, you could kind of extrapolate how it would eventually go. Things kept on breaking, and so they kept on having to fix it. Eventually, they decided to fix the things that broke the most, the organics. That actually sounds vaguely plausible.
Yeah, but you'd have to do it well to make, because otherwise, I don't want to be speciesist about it. I get the idea that, a single species can be up to different things, but I wanted my Silence to be, pure in their collectiveness and their weirdness, their creepiness, their evilness. And I always thought it was going to be something like, because they mentioned in the one where the Doctor gets poisoned, Let's Kill Hitler. They mentioned that the Silence is not a species; it is a religious organization. And I thought, oh, I get it. You join the Silence, and then you take like some potion or whatever, and you become like one of these monsters. Like they do this to themselves on purpose, And that would explain why all of them are in this one organization. They all joined up, and they all have a secret evil plan. And then you just see some of them standing around in the Papal mainframe, and you're like, you're not supposed to be standing around. Don't do that.
When I saw them appear for the first time, and Clara was like freaking out over it, they were like, confess, confess, confess. I thought they were trying to extract information from Clara about the Doctor, and it was going to be like this whole thing was their plan all along.
That would have been so cool.
Oh, and then like eventually they were going to corner him on the planet and just flash fry the bastard with lightning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, they were supposed to be there, and
they just want her to confess her sins. Just random. They're just really over enthusiastic confessional priests.
yeah, they're gonna be handing out communion wafers like tomorrow.
I don't remember going to church yesterday. Oh wait.
Church is just so forgettable. Oh, and
so what I think we're trying to do here is come up with origins for everything and tie it all neat little bow, but it didn't tie correctly, and they didn't have time to explore everything the way it should have been explored. And if they had more time, they also would have come up with more interesting explanations,
And here's a thought, if they wanted to make sure the Doctor's name was never spoken, then, and they clearly have time travel technology. Oh, excuse me. Time travel technology.
Mm-hmm. At least the Kovarian branch does, yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't they send a bunch of Silence into Unit HQ before, like, the third Doctor appeared? Had the Silence go, here is a picture of this man. Shoot him! And then exit. And then when the third Doctor shows up for the first time...
Honestly, yeah, wait, now suddenly that puts fridge logic on the entire Silence have been here since the dawn of time thing. So is the Doctor. You think they would have killed him once or twice.
Or even met.
Yeah, because the Doctor would forget, but then he would remember again, wouldn't he?
The next time he saw them,
yeah. Okay, there was part of this weird plot. They had to kill him in a way that was a fixed point. I'll let that slide for now. It worked well enough in its own terms. But yeah, them showing up here just broke their thing, their mood. And in the meantime, we're also nerfing the Angels, who can, just be a minor threat. Everyone's kind of a minor threat. I mean, the Daleks kind of take the lead by the end, but still...
They're still a minor threat because they don't figure out how orbital goddamn bombardment works.
Kind of, yeah. Also, and I was saying earlier about the whole...
heck, if regeneration equals death rays from your hand of golden energy, wouldn't that have been a tactic that the Time Lords used that the Daleks should have anticipated?
Yeah.
Like sending suicide soldiers who are on their last lives or something onto the battlefield. Just like, okay, stab myself. Well, I took out the entire Dalek army.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. They might have tried that for all I know, once or twice. But, okay, so after, let's say, 100 years, they keep attacking, and the Doctor keeps defending, and they get to realizing, hey, you realize over 100 years the man has never said his name. Maybe he doesn't want to let the Time Lords loose, which again was unclear, but apparently he doesn't want to if he spends 100 years and doesn't bother, right? So if he doesn't want to, maybe we should stop pissing him off, because he might just say his name to get revenge on us, right? If we kill the people of Christmas, he'll just be like, frick it, my name is Steve, and then Gallifrey shows up and, like, rams into all the saucers. Like, I guess maybe we should just walk away and leave it as it is, and never mind. Let's go kill Earth. He's not defending that one right now.
And that brings me to another point.
Yeah.
Moffat or one of the writers of Doctor Who has been doing this really weird thing with the Doctor. The Doctor going, well, the Earth doesn't need me anymore. Yes! Yes, it does, you fething imbecile! Hey, remember that episode in Donna's run? When
Turn Left,
when it showed everything that happened that went horribly nightmarishly wrong because the Doctor wasn't there to save everyone. Remember how the starship crashed into Buckingham Palace?
Big Ben.
What? No. There was.
Oh, the other one, the Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah, and that happened before 10's run. So
right.
Okay, the starship Titanic crashed. people were being put into forced labor camps, and there was a subtle implication that the Cybermen were somehow involved in that. I don't know.
I didn't catch on the Cybermen implication, but whatever. Forced labor eventually.
Forced labor camps.
Yeah.
The stars going out.
That was cool.
I assume the Daleks in Manhattan eventually did something.
Yeah. Whatever. Everything went wrong was the point.
Yeah, so, every time I hear the Doctor say, well, the universe doesn't need me anymore, I point to that episode and say, you are a goddamn idiot.
Right, well...
And you should be beaten for your stupidity.
In this case, I mean, he spent 300 years being useful, just not to the Earth.
Okay, yes, it's just that the overall theme of, I'm not needed anymore for anyone else other than this...
Well, yeah.
Look,
that gets back into that military stalemate thing that doesn't make sense, yeah.
If he wants to retire, fine. Retire. Get someone new to do it. Get Jack to do it. Jack Harkness. Have him go around with River Song saving time and space.
Well, in this case, it was less, I want to retire, and more, I'm stuck here.
In this case. I get that in this case.
So when did he retire the last time?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But, okay, something else that bugs me.
Yeah.
The way the Doctor treats Clara. He tricks her twice into going home. Okay, I get it. You want Clara to be safe.
Yep.
But here's the thing, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the last time you sent your companion home in the TARDIS in order to keep them safe?
Yep.
Then she turned up and was the bad wolf and saved all of humanity and Earth from being bombed to shit by Dalek war fleets led by the Emperor of the Daleks.
Yep.
You think maybe you would have learned that at that time, maybe you shouldn't go sending your companions off alone because, they're sort of vitally needed.
Well, actually, that would be a great time to learn, hey, always send them off alone, because apparently they'll come back and save the universe. As a matter of fact, what you technically should be doing is, Clara, I need you to open this hatch leading to the heart of the TARDIS. Okay, now kill everyone, and I'll just kiss you, and we'll make it all better.
Yeah, they should have done that.
I know. I knew as soon as I saw that happen in Rose's run, like, this is really cool, and for no adequately explained reason, they will never do this again. Because, you know what I mean? Like, from a story perspective, it would be boring to do it twice. But from an in-story perspective, like, that's a great tactic. I know you have to give up a regeneration, but, in times of crisis, this is a good thing to do.
Or, do someone who's already terminally ill,
Yeah.
Okay. Doc, use one of your cancer patients aboard the TARDIS. And just suicide shock troopers of time god cancer patients.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That was probably the darkest thing I've ever suggested in my entire life. Wow. That is darker than the thing I suggested in the Equestrian Girls review.
Maybe.
I am sorry.
At least the patient got to do something awesome there. Anyway.
Yeah,
all right,
okay, moving on.
Moving on a little bit.
And then she clings to the outside of the TARDIS. Okay, last time they did that, didn't Jack fucking die?
He did.
Granted, he got better, but that's because he's Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
It's not even that he's a fixed point in history. It's just that he's so motherfucking awesome that, death is like, well, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I mean, more than I already have. 'Cause, come on, it's Jack Harkness.
I mean, they mentioned briefly about, the TARDIS must have extended a shield around you, but...
Doesn't that mean she stared into the untempered schism of the time vortex?
I think there's a difference between the vortex and the schism for some reason.
I mean, didn't she stare directly into space-time? How is she not gibbering and insane right now?
How is Jack not gibbering and insane?
He's Jack.
Well, that's true.
Well, I love that little back and forth right there. Well, how is Jack not gibbering? He's Jack.
Okay, but yeah, there's obvious parallels to draw there with the parting of the ways. That was the name of it, right? When he sent Rose away.
Yeah.
And Rose has a whole moment where she is stuck there and then makes a freaking speech at that one diner or whatever, and then very purposefully goes to save the Doctor. And Clara, intentionally is hanging on to this key, but doesn't get to spend a lot of effort on it and doesn't get to make a speech about how important this all is and something about the Doctor's philosophy of taking a stand. And, Clara didn't actually get to do anything, really, in this episode.
She got to be naked for some reason in the church of the Papal Mainframe.
Yeah.
Why was it necessary to be naked if they were wearing holograms that made it look like they were wearing clothes?
I mean,
why did the Doctor not realize, hey, wait a minute, humans tend to like it when I wear fucking clothes. How long have you been around England, Doctor? I assume, you visit. How often has Doctor Who occurred in England? Isn't it like something like, no, I don't know, every fucking episode? And he didn't notice, oh, no one likes it when I go around naked. I tend to get arrested for vagrancy. And indecent exposure.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. I mean, to some extent, it was, a neat little joke of just sort of being like when they're on the papal mainframe, we're naked, but we're not naked, and we feel kind of weird about that. And it was kind of funny because it was like different culture, whatever. Fine, whatever type of feeling. But yeah, when he does it on Earth, it's like...
What's the point of being naked if you have a hologram that makes you look like you're wearing clothes?
I don't know.
All that seems is just really unsanitary.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a little weird. And there's missed opportunities with Clara that other people have pointed out. And they pointed out before, and it becomes even more apparent in this episode. But like, Clara's mother died. And that was important for exactly one episode, and it was forever forgotten afterwards. It was her second episode, right? The Rings of Akhaton or whatever.
The Rings of whatever the...
The Rings of Thingamajigs.
The Rings of Stupid Leaf Saving the Day.
Honestly, that would have been...
No, don't say it. I know you liked it. I don't.
I think it would have been cool if we had if we had already had a few seasons with Clara and had really gotten to know her. And then her emotional thing would have made more connected to us. But anyway, it was important for exactly that one episode, and then it never comes up again. And here we're doing an episode that's all about death. That would be excellent. She could have something to say about this and what it's like to lose a family member. I lost my mother. I don't want to lose you even, And she's with her family. She's with her grandmother, right? Her grandmother. Maybe that's.
We don't know any of their fucking names.
Well, true.
Heck, we knew the name of Donna's mom and grandpa. We knew the name of Rose's parents.
Yeah.
We knew the names of Martha's family.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't know the name of Amy's family.
No, Amy or Clara. Moffat doesn't seem so interested in that, and I think it's to the detriment of the show. Because that grandmother could have been like her mom's mom, who has lost her daughter, and they could have shared a moment about that, Also, she has a mom on one side, and her dad, who is played by a different actor, or so I'm told. I didn't actually go check. And then her mom, I guess it's her stepmom. But I'm told that I go into this like, oh, look, there's Clara and her dad and her mom, and then like 2 hours later, like, wait a minute, her mom's dead. I guess it's just a stepmom, but like it doesn't come up. It's not explored.
Mistress.
We don't have time for it.
No, mistress.
Weird. That would be pretty weird.
No, that'd be cool. Just, come on, Clara. I don't know.
Anyway, we just there's so much potential there that it was just ignored, wasted. I mean, she did have some nice moments with the Doctor. I said earlier with the hand thing and stuff. I like that little poem, "The Clock is Striking 12s." Someone on the internet.
And of course, it always has to be whenever a poem is read on a TV show, it has to be related to the immediate problem at hand.
Yeah.
It's never like what would suck? They popped it open. There once was a man from Nantucket. Damn it! Curses.
Yeah.
And then Jack Harkness shows up to take care of the Daleks. Now that's relevant.
I saw someone on the internet was all mad that they were saying 11 and 12 when he's technically the 13th incarnation turning into the 14th now. And I was like, whatever. They're talking to the audience. Like, I get it. And it was like a 30 seconds on that poem, and it was fine. So she had some moments, but just not enough. There's so much you could do with Clara that wasn't done. And so many other people. You think that the Doctor would want by his side if he thinks he's going to die, and he never mentions them.
Wasn't the Trenzalore supposed to be where all the Doctor's allies came to fight by his side? And wasn't it just the Papal Mainframe that fought by his side?
And the Silence, which was weird. It was weirder to have them as priests, but it was also weird to have them as allies.
Yeah, I mean, generally you don't make confessional booths capable of going into combat.
It was just
I mean, you'd assume that they would get gunned down in like seconds.
And why doesn't Clara kill them on sight? Confess your just jump on him with an axe.
Yeah, why does that not work on anyone
anymore? Yeah, just for that one story, it doesn't count anymore. Okay, I guess Clara never saw the moon landing or something.
Ever. Or was that retconned out again?
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome would that have been? The Doctor leading an army of UNIT, Torchwood.
They did that. It was the Stolen Earth, kind of.
Yeah. Wouldn't it have been awesome to see them all on the field of battle? Jack Harkness fighting alongside Rose Tyler. Mickey Smith and his wife, Martha Jones. Tackling a Cyberman and beating it to death with a glitter gun.
I mean, for practical reasons, you can't.
A glitter gun. I don't mean a glitter gun as in like one of those bedazzler things. I mean glitter gun is in a weapon that fires gold particles, which is one of the only weapons that can be used against a Cyberman, as proven in the Cyber Wars.
All right. Also, blowing up planets, that works too, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that episode recently. Yeah. I actually really liked it.
Silver. I honestly feel like Mr. Clever should be like a new permanent feature for Cybermen. Like, that's a new thing for them. I like that idea. They have an AI dude that like messes with things in the background. That's cool.
Well, there's the Cyber Controller.
Yeah, but was he ever clever? He's just in charge, you know.
Yeah, good point.
I wanted this guy to like, he gets literally into your brain. That's kind of neat.
I did feel that they were taking a few too many cues from the Borg in that episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Simulation tubules, replacing people's parts with cybernetics. And yeah, I know the Cybermen came first, but there is such a thing as
cross-pollination.
Yeah.
But okay, what were we saying?
Yeah, I honestly.
I was saying
silence.
The silence, which is very hard to use them as allies, by the way, because you keep forgetting they exist every time you turn around.
Yeah.
So that's just complex if you think about it. And yeah, we've apparently threatened a bunch of innocent silence with that moon thing, as well as the actual guilty ones. And
God damn it,
for
Steve.
personal reasons, even if it's not for military reasons, you think he would say, I'm on my last regeneration, I'm dying, hey, Papal Mainframe, seeing as I'm in contact with you, is there any way you could contact River Song? And she could, like, be with me at least while I'm dying. Also, she could kick ass. But even if that's impossible, she could be with me while I die. My wife. My freaking wife. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
He doesn't even think to ask about that because, we didn't have time for that in the story.
And here's another problem.
Yeah.
The Tasha Lem.
Yeah.
Not Tasha Yar.
No.
Vastly different than
Vastly
Tasha Yar.
different.
But anyways, Tasha Lem is another what we call the Moffat woman. Basically, it's a woman cut from a single cloth. A woman who is quirky and flirty and attractive, and she's attracted to the Doctor, and yet she also is somehow sort of empowered a little. But,
she
defines
runs an army, so that's empowered.
Yeah, but like...
She's powerful, but also attracted to the Doctor. Powerful, but sexual at the same time.
Yeah, but it's like this cut from the same cloth as every other woman that Moffat puts on screen. Amy was cut from this cloth. River Song was cut from this cloth. That woman from... Queen Elizabeth was cut from this cloth, and now Tasha Lem is cut from this cloth. Moffat went on a speech saying that some people complained that all the companions seem kind of similar under his tenure, and he said, "Well, that's understandable. It takes people of similar mindset to run away with the Doctor. They're a little crazy, and they run away." And then, when Russell T Davies was asked about his companions, he gave this wonderful speech about how different each of the companions were, about how human they are.
Yeah. Now, I will say that surely falls under some kind of quote mining. Because if you think about it, okay, all the companions, I can totally tell the difference between Amy and Rory. And between Amy and River Song, actually. I mean, there are differences here. Though they do have that common attracted to the Doctor aspect. And... at the end of, I guess it was Beast Below, they got home, whatever, one of those episodes, suddenly Amy is, like, all hot for the Doctor, even though it's a night before her wedding, and, I guess they're trying to make a transition to the Vampires of Venice, the reason to bring in Rory, but that was weird that she was, like, that attracted to him all of a sudden, honestly. As for his more general track record with women, okay, yeah, this does happen a lot. I will point out the counterexamples of the women who aren't attracted to him. Jenny and...
Not Moffat, doesn't count.
Well, they appeared on screen during his era. No, I'm sorry, the other Jenny. Come on, the Silurian and the Jenny and the Victorian.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. The single coolest character Moffat ever invented.
Right. What are the names? Sorry, what's that?
Jenny. I only know the name Strax. Boy, that was her name.
Boy. Oh, because that's
Strax.
Right.
Strax. And Strax, of course. Strax, the best.
Right, also not attracted to the Doctor.
Okay, he has no
Vostra,
gender.
Madame Vostra. Okay, there you go. Right, so those
seriously, those three need their own show. Just I can imagine them solving crimes in London.
Yeah, no, and
screw Sherlock. Stop working on Sherlock, Moffat. Start working on that.
Right. So Vostra's not attracted to him. Jenny Flint isn't. They're
lesbians. They don't. Of course they're not.
But still, if he were completely obsessed, he would make everyone heterosexual for the Doctor. Also, the few women we met in the one with all the clones, the gangers, I think there was another Jenny in there, actually. Was that her name? The one that went crazy?
Yeah.
There's so many Jennies around. But, it doesn't happen with every woman, I think. I think some people exaggerate this. But there is a tendency, I'll admit, when you add up Amy fancying him, Clara fancying him, Queen Elizabeth, River Song, and now Tasha Lem. That's a lot, and maybe you have some more variety in your female characters, Moffat. I can see that, yeah. I don't know, though. Some people, they accuse him of sexism, which is a little vague, because he's certainly not doing, get back in the kitchen sexism, but maybe it's sexist in a different way. Then someone I saw accused him of being homophobic, and I was like, do you remember the gay FBI agent who was all badass? Because not only was that guy badass, he was also completely non-stereotypical. I think that is completely anti-homophobic right there.
Oh, yeah, I love that character.
Yeah. So,
and of course, we never see him again.
Well, no, that makes sense. He's back in the Nixon era. He's not a companion. He doesn't travel with us all the time. So I'll let that slide. It's River Song I would expect to show up again, because she's all over the place. Which was, by the way, a moment when, in the name of the Doctor, when she says goodbye to him, and you were like, this is a sweet little scene, I like the way it's playing, except I don't know why it's happening, because why does she have to go away? She's still on the hard drive in the library, and presumably the hard drive is okay, and if it's not, he can fix it. So it was just that felt like a fourth wall break to me. Okay, we need to get rid of River sometime, so... how about now?
The actress wants to do other stuff.
Yeah, which I sympathize with a character like River. How can you ever conclude anything, But, yeah. So, I've heard also complaints that say Moffat is being greedy. They made this Doctor, the Doctor spent, a huge chunk of his years as the 11th Doctor now. And someone was saying, oh, that's because Moffat wants his Doctor to be the longest running. And I'm like, that's not necessarily the case. I'm not going to assume that. It could have been, he just thought it was neat for this one story and had no other thoughts besides.
The BBC added up all the years the Doctor's been supposedly been traveling, according to, everything. And apparently he's been traveling for something along the lines of 2 trillion years.
I'd like to see the math on that.
Yeah, I would too, because that seems wrong.
It seems wrong. Maybe they count the years of transit. Is that what they're talking about? That would make sense, because he went to the year 100 trillion one time.
Yeah, okay, maybe that was what they were talking
Yeah.
about.
All right. So, yeah, there are criticisms about Moffat that either don't stick or don't stick as much as people claim they do. But there's kernels of truth in there, certainly.
Yeah.
And Moffat not exploring personal lives as much. We talked about we don't know the names of anybody's family. Amy didn't have her parents. She'd grown up without parents because they were all eaten away and she forgot them. And then they came back, and it was awesome. And it was never hardly mentioned again. It wasn't like she was changed as a person in any way, oh my God, I have my parents back. You think that would come up?
Yeah.
You think that would come up, for instance, when they're talking about founding a family of their own. and she wants to be there for her child in the way that her parents at first couldn't be there for her. And that could be a reason to retire from the TARDIS, actually. Wouldn't that be a thought? That could have been a reason to get rid of Amy, actually. That she retires because she wants to be a mom now. Boom.
Boom.
That would have worked.
Great.
Honestly, I did like the idea of the angels taking them away, but it was a little weird how that works and why the Doctor can't just go back to 1920s Boston and send them a letter and then tell them to come to Boston and then he could just save them that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little vague. A lot of these things are a little vague,
Okay, I think we've covered literally every single aspect of the... Except for one.
Except for one.
The regeneration scene.
The regeneration scene, what about it?
I mean, not the one where he was the anti-Dalek.
The one inside the TARDIS.
Okay, where he essentially just sneezed and turned into Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Okay, his scene leading up to it, it felt a little melodramatic, but quite frankly, most regenerations of the modern series do feel a little melodramatic.
There's only been 2, but yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, and that's
that
fine.
Trend,
I like that. I like that.
I was wondering why the hell Amy was there.
She's like a memory, He spent most of his years with Amy. I thought it was a neat little tribute deal. If he'd actually physically shown up, it would have been like, what? But if she's just a memory hallucination thing, I'm fine with it.
Raggedy Man, goodbye. Fuck you, Amy. I was so happy when the angel ate your ass.
I don't know why you hate Amy so much, but we're not going to get into that. We'll be here for another hour.
She was just annoying. I don't know. I just never liked her.
Nah.
It wasn't even a conscious thing. It was just a subconscious itching on my brain that
Weird.
I just didn't like her.
No, I was fine with her. But anyway, so it was fun. There was usually 4 or 5 lines in a row that could have reasonably been his last line. Which didn't actually bug me. It was like, whatever, it only takes a couple more minutes. It's fine. I like these lines.
And some people have complained that Peter Capaldi, as the Doctor, should know, how to pilot the TARDIS when he said, oh, do you know how to pilot this thing? Because we seem to be crashing.
Yeah.
To which I say, no, there is actual historical precedent for this sort of thing happening for the Doctor.
When he became number 8.
Heck, when he became number 8, when he became number 8, he couldn't remember who he was. Thus the whole, who am I?
So that was supposedly due to being dead for too long, which obviously didn't happen in this case.
Okay. Number 7, when he regenerated, was in Time in the Ronnie, where, well, quite frankly, he was easily tricked by the Ronnie because his brain was all scrambled.
Right.
Number 6 had the most infamous regeneration in that he immediately tried to put on an outfit that caused more sanity loss than a staring contest with fucking Cthulhu, and then tried to murder his companion. I am so not even kidding on that.
Yeah, that was a thing. Okay, so anyway, this one,
number
whatever.
5, nearly...
You're not going to go through all of them, are you?
No, just the ones that I know about. Number 5, actually this is the last one that I know that had regeneration problems.
Yeah.
His regeneration nearly started failing, and he had to go into the zero room for a while so that he could be totally without any sort of stimulation.
Yep.
And even then, he was having memory problems. He couldn't remember his own companion, Adric.
Yeah.
Although, according to some Doctor Who fans, a lot of us wouldn't like to remember him either.
Okay.
He was apparently the Wesley Crusher of his era. But that's not the point.
Okay.
So, yeah, him not remembering how to pilot the TARDIS, I can totally buy that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so can I. I heard a lot of people complaining about his regeneration was so fast it was like a sneeze. I'm fine with that, honestly, because he had his exit. He had all the lines he needed. And then it was, a little surprising. Aha, he changed so fast, and that works. That gave Clara a nice little look of surprise on her face. Fine.
And even better, I don't know, it kind of avoids the whole melodrama of changing into a new person. Like, it's the last few regenerations have all been just like, oh.
But by the last few, you mean the last one?
No, several.
What several? 9 turned into 10 without any sort of awe. I mean,
I don't know.
He was just like, you were fantastic. Then he was back.
But regenerations have previously went much, much faster than that.
Oh, okay.
So it was a nice callback to those previous early really fast regenerations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like
yeah.
The first regeneration is regeneration into second, where it just basically crossfaded into
Yeah.
from William Hartnell.
It actually takes longer than the sneeze.
Patrick Troughton.
Yeah. So yeah, they tried to tie a bunch of things together at the last minute. Sort of felt crammed together. All these things we talked about didn't make sense. Cheapened several villains, and Clara didn't get to do much, even though she obviously could have had something to contribute emotionally to this. And one I forgot to bring up earlier, are the Time Lords aware of what's going on the other side of the crack? I presume it must be yes, because they respond to Clara's plea for help. But if they're aware of what's going on the other side of the crack, why do you need the whole Doctor Who question thing? Just look through with your time telescope and be like, oh, look, nobody's there. Coming through. I don't know, we kind of mentioned that already, but...
Although, that would be pretty funny if they totally screwed it up and then, 20 Gallifreys all appear in the same universe. Damn it!
That'd be weird.
I told you we should have done the Doctor Who thing,
right.
and I told you that was a stupid idea.
And they did this whole deal of, you've been asking his name, you've been asking the wrong question. His name is the Doctor, that's all you need. Which, I know we have to conclude this name thing without actually naming him Steve or something, because what combination of sounds would actually live up to the legend, right? But I felt like there should be something a little more clever than that somehow. I'm not sure what, but eventually, you know what I mean? Something else to put aside the name thing. Especially at the same time she's asking, if you love him, save him. I thought they hated him. Oh, I guess they love him now. Oh. And apparently they can send through regenerations.
Oh my god, no, please, Brain, no, oh god. Of course they both love and hate him.
What?
Gallifrey is tsundere for the Doctor.
Oh,
no! We hate him so much, but we love him. But we hate him, but we love him. But he loves the precious. Get out of here, Gollum.
And they can send regenerations through the crack. Apparently they can't send through a bomb and just nuke the Daleks or something.
Yeah, just keep shoving through matter conversion bombs until it goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
By matter conversion bombs, I just mean antimatter.
And this whole, I thought of this.
Or can you not get them past the fucking sky trenches? No, I'm not letting that go. That is a stupid name. Who the fuck names it a sky trench? I hope you get set on fire.
And yeah, the Doctor froze them like a painting in another universe in a way that sealed them off, and they couldn't get here except via the cracks, which were only formed by the Doctor's enemies blowing up the TARDIS, and thereby coincidentally advancing his plan to eventually let Gallifrey back in, which didn't make sense in the first place, because if he lets them back in, they're probably going to nuke the universe anyway.
And let the Master loose.
And put that phrase on a t-shirt.
It's going to be in really small print.
Yep. Yep. I think I can make that even longer. I don't know. I'll try it sometime. But that's about it.
I can shorten it. Oh God, my brain, it hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, in short, it had good moments, but wow, are there some problems.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, well.
So,
goodbye to Matt Smith. We do like you. We were just criticizing the writing.
The awful writing.
Could have been worse, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was not
Could've
the freaking
Royal Canterlot wedding.
Well, I was going to go for Avatar live action. Avatar Last Airbender live action. It was not that crap. There were no bending tiny rocks in this show.
Yeah.
But that's it. All right, so we're done. Are we? Question mark?
Yes,
we're
done.
with the giant bell, why don't I?
Sure.
Okay, so.
Okay. Well, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're signing off.